role does a parent play on a person's self-image? And we have this stereotype where parents sort of compare you to your cousin, you to your friends. So what's the best way a parent can what role do they play, and how can they play the role well? We'll go with Kripa first, and then we'll go to Deepak.
Okay, so even our self-talks are majorly impacted by our parents. Imagine you have a kid. Whenever the kid does a mistake, you know scold the kid. You are always doing this. You are a failure. You won't do anything better. So every time the kid does a mistake, year on forth, he tells the same dialogue to himself whenever he's doing that mistake. So it is important that be kind to your kid and talk to him in a way that he will talk to himself in the future. So this is very very important, the first part of building a self image. The child sees himself like you are seeing him when he is growing up. So parents play a very very important role in a child's self image.
You bring up an excellent point. The studies for this is the words that are used are positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. So both can do a good job if it's used well, but it has to be done in a balanced way. And if you do one excessively, then of course you would have negative effects. Deepak?
Right. So what you're saying makes sense. And I agree with Kripa's point. What I want to add to that was I'd read something about three kinds of attachment styles. So there's secure attachment, anxious attachment, and avoidant attachment. And that is something that is formed at a very early age. So your early childhood experiences shape you in that way and determine how you form attachments with other human beings. And so if you have a secure attachment style, then you tend to be more forgiving, you tend to be more optimistic, you tend to be happier in life, and it leads to a lot of good outcomes. If you're anxiously attached, you're always thinking, am I loved enough? Do they really love me? And you're always questioning that. And if you're avoidant, then you avoid being close to other people, right? Each of those insecure attachment forms have their own drawbacks. And how our parents relate to us in our early years has a really defining impact on how we attach to other people throughout our lives. Of course, this can be your attachment style can be changed. You can get over some of these insecurities by building close long-term relationships with people who have secure attachment style. But it does matter how your parents treat you.
That's a very excellent point, and we will add some resources on the description for attachment styles as well as positive and negative reinforcement. Does my individuals have anything to add? Ilakkiya?
So I wanted to further add on a point that you brought up about positive and negative reinforcement, because I learned about that in 12th grade, and I think it'd be helpful for the audience to hear. So there's 4 types of things you can do in response to behavior: positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and negative punishment, where the positive and negative are whether you're adding something or taking away something. And the best ways to help kids or raise kids, I think, is both positive and negative reinforcement. So what that is with positive reinforcement, you give something good to the kid, like, oh, you finished your homework on time, you get 1 extra hour of video game time. And negative reinforcement would be taking away something bad, right? Like you say, if you don't finish this on time, you have to wash the dishes tonight, right? So if they do their thing, you can say, okay, good for you, you no longer have to do the dishes. So you take away something that's negative. Positive punishment and negative punishment are not great. Positive punishment would be adding punishment to the kid. Oh, you didn't do this, now suffer, and you give them something bad to do, or something the kid would perceive as bad. And negative punishment would be taking away something good. Like, you didn't do your homework, you can no longer play games, you can't watch TV, you can't go play with your friends. So try to use positive and negative reinforcement.
Good point. Sia?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, sometimes realizing that if you're in a place of not good self-esteem or not good self-worth, or when we discuss things like attachment styles or the way that our parents have spoken to us, that can be another way of us defining what's wrong with us. So it creates this vicious cycle of saying, oh, I don't have good enough self-worth. And so then you're perpetuating the idea that because there's something wrong with you, now you have lesser self-worth. So just a quick reminder that in discussions, it's not, if you resonate with any of the things that we talk about, it's not that, that's a label or that's a condemnation or that's where you're supposed to stay. It's more of like, it marks your place on a spectrum where you can easily move in on. So yeah, just a quick reminder, I've definitely fallen into that circle of, oh, this has happened to me and that has happened to me. Even just having low self-esteem made me feel worse about my self-esteem. Like, oh, I should have healthy self-esteem. Like, there's nothing wrong with you if you don't have healthy self-esteem or if you feel that way. There's so many factors other than just how you perceive yourself. So yeah, just putting that out there.
Very good point, and I do want to add that parents, when they do stuff, they want to do the right thing, irrespective of whether they do the right thing or not. And so hopefully, like when they learn this, they would try it out, and hopefully it works for you. Anybody else have anything to add?
I just want to bring up one point. So this question, yeah, I thought of the age-old nature versus nurture debate, like how much of a person's upbringing and environment shapes that person's lifestyle and the choices they make in adulthood. So is it in their hands? So like I'm more on the side that parents play a lot in what people think in adulthood, and the criminal justice system is tied into that aspect as well. So if someone is taking drugs when they're 15, or if someone falls into like a practice that's not really helpful, so a lot of that plays into, I wouldn't say only parents, so parents and the system around that. So it's very difficult to blame the individual, like in a justice system that's looking to just put the bad people away and not, or put the bad people away and not fix the system. So parents play a huge role in a lot of other things. So on the macro scale, even in the country's criminal justice system, parents can help, with bringing up good citizens.
Deepak?
Right. So I wanted to add to a point that Vyaas made about nature and nurture. So I read research yesterday that showed that about 50% of our happiness or baseline life satisfaction, that's the word used in the paper, is determined by our genetics. About 10% is determined by what happens to us in life, the events around us. And the remaining 40% is determined by how we choose to react to what's happening to us and the attitudes that we have and take to the world, the values that we have, things like that. And so it is in this 40% that we have the largest potential to move things about and change things. So it would be productive for all of us to focus on what we can control and how we react to things, how we make sense of things, as opposed to thinking that this is all predetermined and what's going to happen is going to happen.
Thank you so much, and we'll add that study down in the description as well.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos on the topic, make sure to check out our playlist where we answer more questions. We'll see you next time.